Hello, my name is Amber and welcome to my creative space. In previous videos we've sat in that chair back there and talked about crochet. We've sat in my car. We've sat in all sorts of places talking about crochet. We're sitting in a new place to talk about a new topic. So we're over here in my art corner and where I do my painting. I'm planning for this to be a new series that I will be doing that will be reviewing what I've painted for that month. So this will be what I've painted for the month of August. By doing these videos, I'll be encouraged to be more consistent with my art practice. In terms of painting, I've been intentionally painting for probably about 15 years or so. I've always loved to draw and color and do that sort of thing as long as I can remember, but I've never considered myself good. And because of that, I have a lot of periods of time where I just stop because I'm frustrated, and just have long dry spells of not drawing, not painting, not doing any of that. But the reality is painting and drawing is very therapeutic for me. It engages parts of my brain that need to be engaged with. And it's a very therapeutic thing for me to do, and I want to get back into the practice of it. And at the moment, my goal is to just get back into doing it with no expectations, no particular goals, just get back in the habit of painting. So not so long ago, I ran across a YouTube video where this lady was talking about a challenge that she was doing and setting for herself, which was 100 tiny paintings in a year. So here is my cards. I was inspired. I went back and pulled out some art paper and cut it down. This just so happens to be Canson watercolor paper into 100 little cards. So this is what I have left for this year. And these are what I've completed so far. My first painting was done on March 3rd of 2025. And my latest painting has been on August 31st, 2025. And as of the last painting, I am on number 35. So, obviously, there's been times where I haven't painted, and there's times when I've been painting multiple times a day, multiple times a week, and really just sped through things. But my goal is to be more consistent, to sit down, have fun, engage with the colors, engage with the process and the layering aspects. This, like I said, is watercolor paper, and currently I'm using a acrylic on it. This particular acrylic, it says open because it is a slow drying acrylic paint. It already is kind of thin, so watering it down for watercolor paper is pretty straightforward, and it holds its color really well. So those are the supplies I'm currently using. Not ideal, not perfect. One of my takeaways from working on this project so far has been doing so many little paintings and the fact they don't take very long because you don't have a whole lot of space to work with. They're working as kind of thumbnails. And now, in today's world, thumbnail can mean all sorts of things. It can mean your actual thumbnail. It could mean the little pictures and previews of the videos you want to look at. But artistically, a thumbnail could be a small, quick sketch working on a concept that you might want to do in a larger format or more developed format. So that's what I'm looking at these as at this point, is I'm just exploring, I'm just having fun. And maybe by the end of this, I'll have a better idea of the types of compositions and colors and ideas I like to pursue in a larger format. Because there is definitely, for me, some limitations working this small and also with these supplies. I know part of the limitations is my skills, but it can also be, I'll show you one example on a couple of these paintings here. Actually, let's just get into it. Let's look at what I painted for August. So my first painting in August was done on the 3rd, and for this I was inspired by a color scheme I just wanted to play around with color and movement and motion, and I think it came out quite nicely. Definitely, what do you call it? Abstract. And I tend to have more fun and be more free when I'm working in an abstract thing because I don't have something I'm comparing it to in my mind that it needs to look like. So that is the first one. The next two, so bear in mind that one was on the 3rd. These ones are on the 24th. So quite a ways later, I ran across a prompt for water, ocean, or something like that. And I had this little image of umbrellas on a beach. So I started with this one, and I got to the point where the background was done and realized this is watercolor paper, and if I try putting other colors on top of this, it'll activate all these colors and it won't layer well. If I was working with straightforward acrylic on multimedia or acrylic paper or canvas, then layering would not be a big deal. But on this paper, it doesn't work. So I got to redo the whole painting again. This time I blocked out the little umbrellas with little circles, stickers. I stuck them down where I wanted them, painted my background, peeled off the stickers, and then I had white to work with. And here I got frustrated because this is sort of realistic. The fact that I couldn't get the edges quite nice, I couldn't the shadow the way I wanted it, it got frustrating. So some of that's limitations on my skills. It's also the size of the project, the tools I'm using, and the medias I'm using. If you know, redoing it wouldn't even had to be done if I wasn't using this paper, etc. So there's definitely challenges I'm facing. So that was on the 24th, and then the next painting was on the 29th. And I was inspired by a picture that had a blurry background and some things nicely crisp in the foreground. So I put it down my background and realized, wow, that's really saturated. It's going to be hard to put something on top of it. And sure enough, they didn't go on very well. And once again, I ran into the issues of I couldn't get my edges crisp or the details nice. Once again, probably because of the watercolor and the materials I'm using, but also I'm sure skills. But I completed a painting. I played with color. I played with texture. You can tell what they are, even if it looks like you're kind of squinting your eyes. Anyways, so kind of inspired by this, on the 31st, the end of August, I painted this one. So you can see it has the blurry background, giving you the impression of things behind it, and then this was from a picture of a zinnia in our backyard, and I think it turned out much nicer. I still would prefer more crispness and more definition, but that's just my inner critic saying it's not good enough. There's more to do. But I painted that day, and I could understand what I painted. It's recognizable. It's good. So, I would love to be painting every day, but coming off of barely painting at all, it'd be nice if I can paint once a week. So 4 paintings in this next month. That would be nice. If I do more than that, great. I just need to get back into the practice of picking up my paintbrush. One stumbling block I've had is coming up with ideas for things to paint. And so I did come across a calendar for September, which has prompts on it from a YouTuber I love watching. She does watercolor. She's very approachable, very easy to watch. She's very encouraging to get in there and play and dabble and do what you can. So I'll link her channel and also her calendar down below as well. So thank you for unwittingly being my accountability partner for painting. This is definitely an area in my life that feels complicated, feels overwhelming at times, but I also know it's extremely therapeutic for me, so I should just get stuck in and get going, and trust that taking the next step will eventually lead to the progress that I long for. There is definitely nerves about sharing my painting here online, but the possibility of becoming more consistent outweighs my nerves to some degrees. We'll find out. We'll see. But thank you for joining me on my review of August. I look forward to sharing September with you. Until next time, feel free to comment below what artistic things you're pursuing, the things that are overwhelming and maybe a little bit scary and confusing, and things that you've been postponing and procrastinating on, but somewhere in your soul you really know you should be doing. Should's not the right word. You have a longing to do it. You have a need to do it. You just need that help taking that first step. So hopefully this video will help you take that first step along with me. So until next time, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.